Written by Andrew Clements, A Week in the Woods is a middle-grade realistic survival fiction novel first published in 2002. It is part of the Hardy Elementary series by the same author. The story centers on the initially antagonistic relationship between Mark, an upper-class fifth grader, and his class-conscious science teacher, Bill Maxwell. Over the course of the narrative, the two characters gradually learn to forgive and understand one another as they must rely on each other to survive their shared adversary, the rugged wilderness of New Hampshire. Mark, accustomed to wealth, only begins to feel truly rich when he discovers his own courage and adaptability in challenging new environments. A Week in the Woods received multiple accolades, including the Iowa Children's Choice Award 2004 to 2005, the Keystone to Reading Book Award 2005, and the Children's Choice's ILA CBC Award. The novel opens with Mr. Bill Maxwell, science teacher at Hardy Elementary in Whitson, New Hampshire, preparing for the annual week-long fifth-grade camping trip to Gray's Notch State Park. Mr. Maxwell values environmental stewardship and scientific exploration, and he sees the excursion as an ideal way to merge these passions. Meanwhile, Mark Chelmsley, a privileged fifth grader from Scarsdale, New York, prepares to relocate to Whitson under the care of his nannies, Leon and Anya, while his parents remain away on frequent business trips. Mark resents yet another move after finally feeling settled, marking his departure by placing a penny under the radiator in his old room. Upon arriving at his new Whitson home, Mark is immediately captivated by the property, which blends an historic farmhouse with a modern addition and sprawling land. Despite the excitement, he remains hesitant to fully invest in his new surroundings, assuming his stay will be brief before attending the private Runyon Academy. This attitude leads to a poor impression at Hardy Elementary, where he resists class participation, shirks assignments, and distances himself from peers. Mr. Maxwell quickly judges Mark as spoiled and indolent, a boy who embodies the opposite of his own values. During a science lesson on the Hindenburg disaster, Mark inadvertently reveals the outcome of a class experiment. Though Mr. Maxwell is annoyed, he is pleased to see Mark engaged, giving him hope that the boy might change. When Mr. Maxwell announces the Week in the Woods, Mark feigns disinterest, taking the permission forms without comment, an unprecedented response that shocks the teacher. At home, Mark eagerly explores his surroundings, embracing the freedom and space of the property. When his parents briefly visit, he cherishes their presence before they leave again. One snowy afternoon, Leon teaches him to snowshoe, beginning a series of lessons in outdoor survival. Mark quickly becomes absorbed in the wilderness, exploring the land and barn, finding artifacts, and developing resilience. He begins sleeping alone in the barn, reading Jack London's stories that provoke both fear and reflection. Through these experiences, Mark reminisces about childhood memories with his mother, gains confidence, and decides to give school another chance. Determined, Mark walks into Hardy Elementary the following Monday with a new attitude. He joins a group of boys, befriends Jason, and attempts to engage with teachers, though many have already labeled him a troublemaker. Mr. Maxwell, still wary, accepts Mark's permission form for the camping trip without enthusiasm, feeling the boy doesn't deserve another chance. By spring, however, Mark's relationships improve, and he grows fond of science, despite being largely ignored by Mr. Maxwell. Visits from his parents inspire him to showcase his barn adventure and spend nights camping with Leon. Mark invests in his own gear, further committing to his newfound love of nature. As the camping trip approaches, teachers assign outdoor-related projects, fostering a sense of community. When Mr. Maxwell continues to slight him in class, Mark resolves to earn the teacher's respect through genuine outdoor competence. On the first day of the trip, Mark and Jason are assigned to the Raven's Nest cabin and participate in activities, including a scavenger hunt. When Jason shows Mark a prohibited multi-tool, Mr. Maxwell mistakenly assumes it belongs to Mark and orders him to pack up and leave. Mark silently accepts responsibility, prompting Mr. Maxwell to reflect on his bias against wealth. Realizing Mark has disappeared into the wilderness, Mr. Maxwell tracks him, following footprints in the snow. Mark, testing his limits, navigates difficult trails and eventually becomes lost. He sets up a fire and bed for the night, proud of his independence. In the night, he discovers Mr. Maxwell, who has injured his ankle. Mark assists him, providing warmth, food, and reassurance. Mr. Maxwell apologizes for misjudging Mark and acknowledges his basic goodness. Together, they safely return to camp, arriving late morning to relief from peers. After breakfast, Mr. Maxwell tends to his injury, leaving Mark to enjoy the remainder of the week with his classmates, further developing courage and independence. At the conclusion of the trip, Mark returns home with Leon and Anya. He reassures his parents of his safety and expresses his desire to remain in Whitson. Mark requests that his father bring the penny from his Scarsdale home on their next visit, receiving praise for his growth. By the end of the story, Mark feels increasingly self-reliant and looks forward to embracing further independence. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.